It's showtime.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Coder. This is part 12, second part into Tatooine, and we are going to bring the moisture vaporators to the chieftain and see how he reacts.
Translation. Translation. He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. Translation. The attacks will be reduced, and he will allow you to explore this enclave, but be warned that any lack of respect will...
Yeah, so the Tusken Raiders are very sensitive, so if you even try to steal their supplies, or you talk to them in a wrong way, you select the wrong dialogue option, they will attack you immediately. They don't give a shit, even if you help them out. They don't give a shit. Okay, so we freed the captive Jawas. I didn't show the beginning of the Aziz guy, but I talked to him and he asked us to retrieve the Jawas for him, his friends for him, and we're going to talk to them later, and we're going to get a reward from him, which is not really that much, but we get a reward nonetheless.
Translation. Translation. He says that... Translation. To speak them in error is a... Translation. Translation. He doesn't know, Master. Translation. The greatest challenge...
So the storyteller, I'll come back a little bit later after I deliver a certain item, the Krayt Dragon Pearl. Now, the Dragon Pearl is extremely valuable, especially for lightsabers. You can use it to craft or upgrade your lightsaber. But if you actually deliver one to him, the storyteller will tell you the history of the Tusken Raiders. So it's actually really interesting. I do play it out. Then I just reload the save and actually just use the Dragon Pearl because it's actually pretty valuable.
Translation. Translation. He says that outsiders use machines to convey them. Translation. Connection to the soil must be made through flesh. Translation. Translation. He says that the use of these blasphemous things... Translation. 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 Protocol. Is that wise, man?
Yes, so if you say that, he will attack you automatically, so don't do that. Oh, we use the ropes. Like, if you're trying to listen to like spawns for dark side points, then yeah, that's a trigger right there. So now we are gonna go fight the Krayt Dragon.
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be? I'm going in.
So this is a guy we saw at the bar, and he's not a bad guy. We're gonna help him with the solo hunt. We are gonna have to lure banthas, and that's gonna trigger Tusken Raiders to attack us. Once we beat the Tusken Raiders, we can lure the banthas, and basically Comad has set up mines everywhere, and the Krayt Dragon will just walk towards the banthas and set up these mines. So you'll see in this cutscene.
Slimo podona runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule to 통king ba nuno tong hai dwam jiji jum lumpa. Nita po e tikito. Dolpa da bonkwale o gan runda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching balam. Ka chikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chikun. Slimo podona. Runda di hotonga kun hankabi. Wana kun bez ching balamule. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Runda di hotonga kun hankabi. Mucho shak pakat. Kieno no namapaule rachik. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas. Une podo. Rananu prata donko shirkasha. Jum na apike. Nandayata. Wata yuma wama huhu nandatik. Shatung ni patoga. Jedo badawana ni di bobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas ma.
So you can actually take all of it. You can get 2 dragon pearls if you don't share it. That would be dark side points, but you will get 2 dragon pearls, which are really valuable. But I will just take 1 for now. There is the Krayt dragon, and it is massive. There is no way we could beat this. Same with the Rancor. And for some reason you can destroy the remains. Like, I never understood that. I have no idea. Like, they did that with the Rancor too. I don't really understand that, but that was a thing. So let me show off the Dragon Pearl, wherever it is. Okay, so here is the Dragon Pearl. So for upgrade for lightsaber, damage +2 and attack +3. That's pretty damn good. Taken from the gullet of a Krayt dragon, this crystalline pearl appears to have the refractory that might help with the lightsaber. So it's actually really, really valuable. So I'm glad I got that. So we're going to go inside. We're going to loot these corpses. They're going to have some stuff on them. And then we're going to get to the actual star map. So Jedi Master Robe. So Bastila can equip that. He just has a Jedi Knight Robe, but it can actually help with another +1 defense. So that's really good to have.
Yes.
Now my character right now, I like the armor. It actually restricts force abilities for some reason, but I like to prefer the armor itself right now. And then as we go on with the playthrough, I'm actually going to equip that Jedi Master Robe or something like that for later on.
Statement. I believe there can be little doubt that we have found the star map you were seeking. I am surprised it is still working after all this time.
I do not think it is mere chance that we have found the star map
Yeah,
here,
so
in the lair of
these
the Krayt
star
dragon.
maps are
Star
pretty
map
much
is an artifact
really
of
heavy with dark side. So pretty much really sadistic beasts like the Tentaraks and Krayt dragons are going to be attracted to it and just warp them.
There's nothing else for us
So I
here.
just leveled up. Alright, so waiting for us right outside is Calo Nord. So we're gonna have to put some shields on.
What?
Just want to be prepared when fighting him and a couple of aliens.
I have to give you credit. You've led me on quite a chase, but nobody gets away from Calo Nord in the end. You got lucky on Terrace. The Sith attack saved you from a quick and gruesome death. But I promise you, the Sith won't be getting in my way this time. Sorry, I'm not in this for the credits. You're the only ones who've ever gotten away from me. I've got a rep to protect. Let's go, boys. It's showtime.
So time to attack them. They're actually pretty far. If you actually destroyed the dragon, they're actually, I think they would actually be closer. I know they'll be at the mouth of the cave. From what I remember, it's kind of a weird situation. Okay, so this is kind of weird, but when fighting Calo, he makes these beast sounds. Yeah, like Basilar's attacking him right now, and he's just making beast sounds. And as soon as he dies, he'll make a beast roar. It's the weirdest fucking thing. Yeah, see, look at that. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know if anybody else had this problem, but I had this bug in my game, and it was kind of funny. Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. So Calo has some good stuff. 2,000 credits, Mandalorian heavy pistols, and Calo Nord's battle armor. The battle armor is really good. It's actually upgradable. It's actually way better than the Davik's warsuit. So 8 plus 3, that's already upgraded. 9, and when it's upgraded, it'll be like, I think 11 or 12.
Query. What do you... Protocol. This will... Translation.
Okay, so now we're going to deliver the Krayt Dragon Pearl, talk to the storyteller, and let you guys listen to the history of the Tusken Raider.
He never thought you could... Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is... Translation. Translation.
So this is probably not something I would have to put, but I think this is pretty interesting. So I'll let you guys take a listen to this.
Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper storage is to Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sent.
Tuskens were actually shown in one comic called Dawn of the Jedi. I think it was volume 1, very briefly, like 1 or 2 pages. But you actually did see them without these scarves, and you did see a city and a lake. You didn't actually see the green, but from the planet it does look like there's green on it. But it actually had thriving life. But when the Rakatans came, the Rakatan Empire came, they would destroy the whole thing. But it looks like, you know, they didn't destroy it all, you know, all together right away, but they did like indiscriminately kill a bunch of Tusken Raiders, or Tuskens I guess, and then they would change and devolve into the Tusken Raiders. So from a great civilization into pretty much nothing.
They lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent. Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe, deep in cave homes carved from Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Resignation. Very well, Master. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all the Sand people and all cherished the land that remained. Translation. Then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to... Translation. These outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient. Translation. So it is to the current sons that the Sand people hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their interpretation may be seen as trying to change clarification. They may consider this to be speaking the words in error. Clarification. I believe they were occupied by this technologically superior species for a substantial period, stripping an entire planet of usable... Translation. Translation. He has no number. He claims that those that were taken were examples of the worst of his kind. Arrogant, doubtful. Master, this is just another distortion due to their demonization of the builders. It's like, clearly history has colored his view. Of course only the inferior meatbags were taken. The remaining were his ancestors after all. Obvious. The same reason Zerka Corporation is attempting it now. Expanding empires need tremendous amounts of resources. Cautionary. Clarification. The occupying force suffered some sort of species-wide plague that lowered their numbers over time. His people used this extended weakness to sabotage their larger The response of the builders appears to have been to lay waste to the entire Doubting. They didn't, Master. They struck a blow. But the storyteller only believes they won because the builders were gone when they emerged from their caves. That does not mean they defeated anyone. It seems clear that the builders simply sterilized their problem and left. The enemy judged them not worthy to fight. Cautionary. Master, this line of questioning may...
And you don't want to piss off the storyteller either, so you don't want to like change history and tell them like, oh, you should have done this and that. Like that will piss them off a lot too.
Any number of armaments could is another distortion. Their climate may have begun to fail due to their unrestrained development even before the builders arrived. Looking back thousands of years later, such a shift could easily be attributed to the much-hated conquerors. Hypothesis. If his people were moving away from technology for a long time under the builders, they may have... I would also suggest that, given the evidence of the massive shift in the... Cautionary. Clarification. It would appear that they once had a thriving technologically advanced society, but were wiped out by a much more sophisticated alien. Negative. I am no library, but since there is no Republic record of this planet... Translation. Translation. He only understands the builders as an iconic force. They claim their stories are repeated unchanged, but they have demonized these builders. In their minds, they wreaked such havoc they could not possibly be flesh and blood. Cautionary. Master. Doubting. I don't believe he can, Master, even if their stories are exact and unchanged. This has become very much like a creation. Cautionary. Impatience. Master, I refuse to inconvenience you with this. He spouted names of petty tribal fights in deserts so distant they might as well be across the... Really, Master, I'm sure it's important to him, but it has nothing of value that... Agreement. Of course, Master. Obedient. Translation. Translation. The tribes spread far, distant from each other. It all ascends...
So I'm going to stop it right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this Tusken Raider stuff, history, the Sand People history, I guess. But this was a pretty short video. I actually split it up into another section. So the next part will be the last part into Tatooine for sure. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.